I'm going to challenge you to be that woman who worships extravagantly. Some of you may say, I'm not going to feel comfortable doing that at my church. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel, I'm not even asking you to do it publicly. I'm asking you to do it extravagantly. In this session, I want to talk to you about being that woman who does something significant and noteworthy. I want you to be that woman who creates a legacy that lives long beyond herself. And my text is going to be found in Matthew 26, and I'm going to start with verse 6. When Jesus was at Bethany, a guest of Simon the leper, a woman came up to him as he was eating dinner and anointed him with a bottle of very expensive perfume. When the disciples saw what was happening, they were furious. That's criminal. That could have been sold for a lot and the money handed out to the poor. When Jesus realized what was going on, he intervened. Why are you giving this woman a hard time? She has done something wonderfully significant for me. You will have the poor with you every day for the rest of your lives, but not me. I want to talk about that. We often think that we can't be extravagant in our worship, as though we have a limited bank account to draw on. You know, everything that God has ever done in my life came by faith. It was when I said, you know what? I'm going to give it all. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to say, I'm going to anoint his feet. He goes on to say, when she poured this perfume on my body, what she really did was anoint me for my burial. You can be sure that wherever in the world this message is preached, what she has just done is going to be remembered and admired. That is when one of the 12, the one named Judas Iscariot, went to the cabal of the high priest and said, what will you give me if I hand him over? They settled on 30 silver pieces. He began to look for just the right moment to hand him over. In another one of these accounts, it talks about this woman. We have the account here, and we believe it's Mary of Bethany. She took, it said, almost 1 liter of nard, and she anointed Jesus's feet for his burial. So many people may not understand how you choose to worship, but that doesn't mean that Jesus doesn't understand what you're bringing to him. This woman was making a display of her love for him, and that open display made other people uncomfortable. Now, I'm not talking about being weird. I'm talking about being generous. I'm talking about being extravagant. You know, there are times in worship to be reserved, but then there are times in worship to be utterly and completely abandoned. And when you do that, when you have that kind of worship, then there is a significant response from Jesus. I'm going to challenge you to be that woman who worships extravagantly. Some of you may say, I'm not going to feel comfortable doing that at my church. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel, I'm not even asking you to do it publicly. I'm asking you to do it extravagantly. You know, when I spend time preparing my messages, often I am in my room, either at my house or in a hotel room, and I've got all the doors locked and I've got all the blinds pulled, and I am going to worship God with all of my might, all of my strength. I'm going to bring what is precious to me, which is all of my emotions. I'm going to fully engage. I'm not going to just sing along. I'm going to pour forth. I'm going to lay it all out. And it's amazing. Maybe my heart will be burdened when I first come to him, but when I begin to worship him in that manner, I begin to see him for who he really is. And when I begin to see Jesus high and lifted up, then I see my problems as low and resolved. I challenge you to be a woman of extravagant worship, to press in her private time. And then when you get comfortable, there'll be opportunity for you to worship him publicly that way, but we don't do it for how other people look at us, because they may judge you just the way they judged her. But don't withhold your worship from him. Do it alone. Be that woman who extravagantly worships. In Jesus' name.